The programme you're about to watch is a unique live investigation of the supernatural.
Hello, and welcome back to another one of my random reviews.
It contains material which some viewers may find to be disturbing.
With it being Halloween, we've got something a bit different for you this month, as we'll be taking a look at the BBC drama GHOSTWATCH.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Now, this was a one-off special which was shown on the BBC back on Halloween night in 1992 and caused a hell of a lot of controversy.
We're going to investigate one of the most baffling and fascinating areas of human experience.
The show was actually a drama, but it was presented in the same style as a documentary reality show, using regular BBC presenters, so it caught quite a few people out.
Boo! I bet that scared you, didn't it?
Now, the story is about a BBC Live broadcast who are investigating a house in North London that's apparently been plagued by poltergeist activity.
That's the house where it might all happen tonight, or it might not. We shall see.
The story is split between the presenters in the studio, who have a paranormal expert with them and are watching what's going on at the house on their monitors, and the TV crew, who are with the family at the house in question, who are hoping to catch evidence of paranormal activity on their cameras. Initially, the presenters don't take things too seriously. But of course, it isn't too long before weird things start happening at the house.
It's scratching down here. It's moved.
Strange shadows are seen in the background.
Sorry, Ollie.
Come on.
Downstairs. Just outside.
Strange bangings occur.
Upstairs. Children. Come on.
No.
Pictures fall off walls.
Oh,
Objects go flying about.
Mike! Oh, my God, what's happened?
And the studio is jammed with phone calls from people claiming things are moving about in their houses.
I had this sandwich, a cheese and pickle sandwich it was.
Oh, yes.
And, it frightened me to bugger it. And this dirty grey plate sitting on the arm of my chair just dived off.
I think I get the picture, certainly. Thank you very much indeed for calling.
Now, obviously, all this was pre-recorded, and a lot of this stuff does seem fairly tame, so you might wonder what all the fuss was about. Well, although the Radio Times listed this as a drama and provided a cast list which kind of gave it away, and even introduced this as being part of their Screen 1 series at the start, a lot of people hadn't read the TV guide and had tuned in after the start of the show, so they didn't realise this was a pre-recorded drama they were watching and were taken in by its straight-laced style.
I should tell you, if you joined to see the next programme, that in fact we're staying with what we have here from Foxhill Drive because the events are so remarkable and dramatic that we'll be staying with them for as long as we have to.
Now, usually dramas are told from a third-person perspective, but because this was shown as you would expect to see a normal reality show and featured well-known BBC presenters who were basically just being themselves, and even going so far as to use the regular phone-in number used for other programmes, a lot of people were glued to their sets, terrified that they were actually watching poltergeist activity on the screen. Now, the number was actually connected to a recorded message informing you that the show was a drama, but so many people were trying to call in, it actually jammed the BBC switchboards, which only added to the realism.
Bit of a balls up in TV speak, I think we can say.
So when viewers later discovered that they'd been taken in by a drama show, the BBC was flooded with complaints.
I suppose, in fact, we should have been prepared for that. I mean, it's Halloween night, homebrew time.
Now, to be fair, it is easy to see why people might have been initially fooled. Now, I remember watching this at the time, and even though I'd read the Radio Times and knew it was meant to be a drama, I was caught out by the fact that it was being presented as a genuine reality show, and actually wondered if I'd misread the TV guide.
This picture we're seeing now isn't live. This is some earlier footage.
But as the show got underway, I quickly realised that this was in fact just a staged drama, as the antics on the show got progressively sillier.
Is all of this a hoax, or, as Dr. Pascoe believes, are things just about beginning to happen?
Strange scratch marks appear on the face of one of the young girls in the house, which is obviously ripped off The Exorcist.
Oh, dear God. Oh, illusion.
She later starts speaking in strange voices, again like in The Exorcist.
Stop it!
One of the girls gets stuck in a cupboard, which was an obvious nod to the Amityville horror.
I can't open the door. It's blocked.
Susie, you've got to push it from the inside.
Indeed, there was stuff in here that appeared to be borrowed from Poltergeist and the Entity, as things just went completely over the top at the end, where the evil spirits invade the studio. And appear to possess the host, Michael Parkinson. Indeed, the ending was just so ridiculous, I just cannot understand how anyone could have watched all that and still believe what they were watching was real by the end of it.
What we witnessed was a remarkable exposure of a hoax.
Let's not be too hasty.
However, it appears many people did, and the BBC received so many complaints, they dedicated an entire half-hour episode to their show Bite Back about this, in which viewers were invited to come on a panel and discuss their complaints about the BBC. I just could not believe how many indignant people were on there complaining about it.
I also think that you betrayed the trust that the audience has within the BBC. You toyed with the emotions of the audience because the audience weren't actually sure, or I wasn't, actually sure if it was fact or fiction, if it was live or if it was in fact a drama.
It just seemed to me that what people were really complaining about is the fact that the BBC had made them feel stupid because they'd actually been taken in by this nonsense, to which my answer was, well, whose fault was that exactly?
The BBC has done it again, made a lot of people feel very foolish.
You can actually watch that episode of Bite Back where they're discussing Ghostwatch on YouTube, and it really does produce some face-palming moments.
I can understand that you feel upset because you've been duped.
Now, it's interesting to note that the story that this was based on was a real-life event known as the Enfield Hauntings, which a single mother and her two daughters claimed that their house was being played by poltergeists back in 1977. Now, this was actually adapted as a drama by Sky TV in 2015, and was also what the film The Conjuring 2 was loosely based on, although it should be noted that the actual event has long been debunked as a hoax.
I know, I'll tell you the truth, I'm not really bothered. I didn't really want the scoop on the Headless Horseman. I mean, like, where'd you put your microphone?
But in any case, even though horror fans like myself thought it was a damn good chuckle, such were the amount of complaints received by the BBC that they never repeated this, and it wasn't until 2002 that this finally found its way onto home video.
Only at the BBC, love.
Now, the show is currently available on DVD if you haven't seen it. I would like to recommend watching it as it's damn good fun and is one of the few rare occasions where TV presenter Michael Parkinson has actually had an acting role, albeit just playing himself.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
There's also a retrospective documentary released about the show which came out in 2012 called Behind the Curtains. This looked at the impact of the show and interviewed many of its cast and crew, which is worth a watch if you can find a copy.
And she's going to take us through the whole spine-tingling story.
But anyway, if you haven't seen Ghostwatch, then definitely check it out.
If there's any ghosts, keep them to yourselves.
Love us and leave us. Go on.
That's all for this review. If you saw Ghostwatch back in the day, or you've seen it since, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and consider subscribing. So thank you all very much for watching, and wishing you all a very happy Halloween.
Please, we don't want to give anybody sleepless nights. We don't want to start panic. Don't let your imaginations run riot.